Empty your mind. This was an ongoing quote that Bruce Lee kept reminding himself. After all, several wisdom traditions, if you study them, especially in Asia, have highlighted how the value of a vessel, whether it's a cup, a pot, or really anything, is actually from its emptiness. Like, you wouldn't want a cup that has dirt in it, or someone else's coffee and spit or something in it. It's valuable because of its emptiness. And a lot of other things that you use, you buy. The emptiness of that. If it was filled with something, you probably would have wanted it. So to Lee, emptiness in the context of enlightened living is a twofold. Hence, operating from neutrality and being an eternal student. Lee viewed operating from neutrality as a standing point between positive and negative. Rather than deciding whether an experience was good or bad, he just embraced it for what it is. Given how conditioned we are to have preferences, expectations, and make conclusions, this can be very difficult. But Lee kept reminding himself to empty your mind, which is a great cue and place to start. Say something positive happens to you. Allow yourself to experience these emotions and feelings to arise, as they're inevitable. They're part of the human experience, regardless if you're a man or a woman. Then when they've been processed, let them pass through you. And then empty your mind. By this practice, you'll be able to see and experience for what it is. And when the elation of a unexpected promotion occurs, or the irritation of something like your flat tire happens, or someone's car accident happens, it's not going to be pondering on your mind for too long, as you don't hold on to anything longer than necessary. So then it allows you to move at lightning speeds without spending your energy and time on just pondering thoughts, which don't add any value, especially as they've been experienced, like the feelings and emotions have been processed. The second part of Lee's philosophy of emptiness is being an eternal student of life, hence constant self-examination. To Lee, the person in the mirror was just as valid a classroom as anything else. I also practice this consistently, and I think the day you stop really living is the day you stop learning. I realize sometimes we also waste a lot of our time comparing ourselves to other people, complaining about other people, or trying to control other people's behaviors, or put focus on other people, when we instead can use that time and energy onto ourselves. Because at the end of the day, even the people that may be better than you, you can at least probably build a collaboration and then learn how you can become better than them, or better than the version you are right now, just by learning by observation, by even talking to them. Because at the end of the day, we are our own enemy. No one else is out here to get us. So if you can use your energy and your time on yourself, you would be tenfold a lot better than where you are if you're unsatisfied. So in Lee's day-to-day life, he would meditate, read, and journal to think deeply, asking probing questions to capture the pertinent musings, talking things over with his trusted close friends, or attending formal therapy, even something like hypnotherapy, and other practices to consider what the what ultimately matters less than regular commitment to self-reflection. Every day, every second offers an opportunity to return to the neutral moments of life, hence reset, or even learn something new, which is a blessing. Otherwise, it would be so boring. Imagine everything was stagnant and uninspiring, as we wouldn't have these opportunities or available to us and these possibilities. So an action step is to consistently practice emptying your mind, and this would be through some guided meditation. So what I would do is I would turn off all electronic devices, be in an empty, quiet space, and choose a comfortable posture. I would not recommend sleeping, because when you sleep, when you're in a resting position in the bed, you're gonna actually just end up sleeping. You just want to be in an upright position, but something that is just comfortable to you. There's no right or wrong in this. It's just up to your own comfort. And then just set a time of 5 minutes and focus on the breathing through your nose, and use this mantra of empty your mind. Mantra is like a word you keep repeating to yourself. And any thoughts that just come by, just acknowledge them, just like a cloud passing by the sky. And then focus back onto your breathing. Don't judge yourself for the thoughts that you have, but just keep repeating the mantra. Acknowledge this state of stillness, as it will be very valuable in your life, especially when you come across a lot of difficult situations. You'll be not unchanged by the situation or the emotions that you experience, but because you've neutralized yourself, you've introduced stillness, you'll be able to process it for what it is, and you will decide how you want to navigate across it. So you decide then how you want to change, not allowing externalities to affect you. And then afterwards, you reflect. When you've done this, you reflect what you noticed, how you feel, and you keep making notes on the journal to track your progress and your observations that you may have. And do this consistently for 5 to 10 minutes a day. This can be at the morning, nighttime, whenever you're free, 5 to 10 minutes a day. And you will ultimately become the master of your own mind. And this is a very big deal, because if you can actually do this and practice this consistently through your life, you won't be controlled by externalities. Majority of the people are controlled by what other people say, what other people think about them, what society thinks. Whereas if you introduce this type of stillness where you're the rock, you will decide what your destiny or your faith will be, as you are in complete control of yourself, which I think you will only have control over in your life. You're not going to have control over people. You're not going to have control over businesses. You're not going to have control over companies. Sure, you have some level of control, but there are so many other factors that are out of your control. So that, I think, is why it's very important to then become the master of your own mind. And this can actually help that. So this was part 2 of the Self Actualize series, where we learned about the importance of emptying your mind. And if you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next part.